Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. So our sales have been picking up the last few months. And I know a lot of it is experience and kind of just getting the flow of doing this whole eBay thing. But I also think it's because I've learned how to pace myself and be consistent. A lot of times the urge is to list everything you have all at once and then you run out of good stuff. But if you can find a way when you have time to list, just turn them into drafts and just steadily flow them to your eBay store, I've found that makes sales a little bit more consistent. Right now we're averaging between 10 and 15 sales per day, and that's perfect. That's right where I want to be. And speaking of sales per day, we sold this new old stock set of King toothpicks used for like a cocktail party for $6.95. We paid a quarter at an estate sale. Another thing I work on almost every day is trying to end and sell similar older items. Things that have been listed for a while, like this Charlie Brown paperback book. We picked it up at the bins maybe a year ago, and it's been listed all this time, but it's been ended and sold similar several times, including in the last week, and it finally caught somebody's attention by bumping it up in the algorithm. It's from 1967 and is a cool little thing for a Peanuts fan, but if it's pushed down in all the Peanuts items, they might not find it. We paid 50 cents at the bins, it sold for $6.76, and we're happy to see it go. But if it's all the way at the bottom of Peanuts books, when people search it, they're not going to find it and they're not going to buy it. Now we have this hand-carved and hand-painted Santa going out, and you can see it was from 1987. The person who made it signed it. We picked it up at an estate sale for $1. It sold for $14.95. And it's March, you guys. We're selling Christmas stuff in March, so don't be afraid to list stuff that's out of season, because there's really not an out of season time for things like holiday collectibles. Now we have this set of 2 Tootsie Toys going out. Sorry about that darkness, had to set my phone down to get it out of the bag. This is a little Tootsie truck and a U-Haul trailer. We paid 50 cents at a yard sale. It sold for $9.85. I love digging through bins of die-cast cars, just looking for those 1 or 2 pieces that are older than your everyday Hot Wheel toy. Now this item is a recent estate sale pickup. I did that video where I was in the attic. I picked this Jane West doll up for about $1, and it sold for $24.47. It's got a lot of pieces and accessories. The box was trashed, but still worth picking up for $1. Now we have a pair of shoes going out, which you guys know I do not sell a lot of shoes, and I don't even look at them anymore when I'm out sourcing. Although if I saw these new tag Crocs, I would probably look at them, which is what we did last summer. There were actually 2 pairs, and this is the second pair we've sold. Like I said, they are new tags, really pretty blue bottoms, little black slip-ons, kind of cute, not your average Crocs. We paid $1, they sold for $25.86. Now we have another item going out, and this just kind of proves that ending and selling similar thing. This is the Book of the Dead, which is an interview with the Grateful Dead. When I found this at the bins for $1, I thought for sure it was going to sell quick, and we had it listed for almost a year, and it didn't sell. I took it down and took it to a yard sale to sell. It didn't even sell there, and I just found it like a week ago. And I said, okay, before I donate it to the thrift shop, I'll list it again, and it sold within a week. Only $5, but hey, I'm not going to complain turning a quarter into $5. Now we have an ashtray going out, and I'm sure most people knew somebody who smoked in their childhood at some point in their house. And I remember this was the ashtray my parents always had out for guests. So I liked it when I saw it. I paid $1.99 for it at a thrift store, and it sold for $15. Now, I do like looking at silverware when I go to the thrift stores, but I'm usually looking for something special, like the kid spoons with characters on them from like the 70s and 80s. And this is actually an airline spoon. I'm gonna butcher it. Lufthansa? I don't know how to say that, but it was only 19 cents at my thrift store, and it sold for $7.95. Airline stuff can do very well. It might sit for a while, but it can sell for pretty good money, depending on what you pay. I think 19 cents into $7.95 is pretty good money. Now this was a fun find from a yard sale way out in the country. It's just hundreds of boxes laid out in this field, and we found this little Ziploc bag with 10 of these vintage Potomac Edison advertising calendars. So there's a recipe on it and some like warnings about power lines and a calendar, and it's from the 1950s. They all are. We paid $1 for the whole set. They sold for $15.95. Now we have to climb up to a higher shelf for this next item. We actually got several of these, and I don't know how many I have left, at least 1 or 2. We found a whole bag, like, you know, what you would get a comforter in, one of those types bags, at the bins, filled with these little hand-painted, kind of primitive style bonnet children. I call it Holly Hobby style, but apparently that's licensed, so they're bonnet children. And we paid about $1/4 for the set by weight. They sold for $7.95. And our last item going out today is going to be a patch. And I recently sorted through all my patches into categories, but I'm not quite sure where I would have put this one because it's not something I have a ton of. Yep, in the back corner, which is my miscellaneous area. That makes sense. This is a Ford patch, like a uniform patch you would see at a dealership or something like that. It's got a little bit of age on it though. We paid $1/4 at a yard sale. It sold for $8.95. So no huge wows today, but our slow and steady process has turned $8.18 in cost of goods into $149.24 in sales, which we are happy with. A decent number of items to pack up, but not overwhelming. And we are going to work on taking some more pictures for some more listings. We'll see you soon with another video of what's sold.